because we are live. Welcome everyone to our Success Mastermind for Friday, the 26th of February. John Lavenia here with you as I am each Friday, each fun Friday. We're going to have fun today. I see Mark is properly dressed. I'm wearing a hat because I'm having a bad hair day and I need to cut and color and I'm looking like my grandfather. But we have some really awesome people in the house already and more tuning in. By the way, look at these awesome people. Look at these beautiful people. This is our family right here, or a small part of it anyway, here in the JL Success Mastermind. And I know we've got a bunch of people who tune in via YouTube and Facebook and whatever. These people here make all this possible. They keep the lights on here in the Mastermind group. We got a member site. We got on average 3 sessions a day we're doing. We had Mark Riggle, Mark with the awesome shirt right there, did our global and tactical marketing last night. We also have, we've got a full calendar today. Today alone, we got Therese, who's looking beautiful with her silver locks and her black thing that she's wearing with integrative health. And and look at this. Look at these awesome people. I am so glad to see Caroline, Alexandria, Bill. Good to see you, Toba. Here comes Toba, Mary, Cyril, Daisy. Ivier's moving tomorrow. And we're all going to pitch in and help virtually, of course. We're not physically going to help, but we're going to intend help for her. And help will come. You know what? If we all intend help for Ivier, let's see what happens. Ivier, on Monday, I'm expecting a spectacular story of fortuitous, unplanned help that came your way. We're all intending that for you.
I have 3 friends that are fighting to help me out tomorrow and Sunday already.
Fantastic. Good stuff. We got Suzanne here, Lindsay, Julia, Evelyn, Ego, and the other Evelyn Smith. And of course, Linda's here, and Gail. Gail, where's your son?
He's on a photo shoot right now.
Oh, good. He's working. Fantastic. Well, he can catch the replay. So yeah, once again, if you'd like to be a part of what we're doing more fully, please, jlsuccessmastermind.com, grab yourself a free trial membership, and we will be happy to have you in the family. So it's Fun Friday. I don't hear any dogs. I've got this new dog, which you guys all got to meet last week. And right now, Trinity and Shannon are out for a walk. And so you're not going to get to see the dog. The dog loves to walk. My goodness. But sadly, he got a little thorn or something, little wound, and he's not a very manly dog. And so he's like limping around and whimpering. We took him to the vet, and $170 later, they were like, we don't see anything. We'll wrap it, and here's some antibiotics or whatever. And so there we go. Less than 1 weekend, and we've got trips to the vet. But that's how it goes. Anybody got a joke for us today? Something? Of course, Gail. Please.
Do you want to hear a construction joke?
I'd love a construction joke. Absolutely.
Sorry, I'm still working on it.
Ah, there we go. Well done, Gail. Well done. Who else has something for us today? Mark?
I got one for you, John. What did the fish get on his math test?
I don't know.
A C+.
Ah, C+. That's beautiful. Good stuff. It reminds me of a little comic strip I saw where 2 fish, it was kind of like a spiritual, comic strip where the one fish was saying to the other, so do you think there really is this thing called water? Right. So kind of like, where people are discussing God. I saw another one where it was 2 fleas having a conversation surrounded by hair. And one was saying to the other, so do you think there really is this thing called a dog? They're on it. They have no idea. So good stuff, everyone. Thank you so much. By the way, Mark, great shirt. So that can I bring you out here again? Can you make some noise? That's I got like a USMC. Is that like a tropical?
Yes. Yeah, it is. It's got a 53 on it because that was that was my very first squadron that I was in back in my youth. And so it's got the Marine Corps emblem, and it's a Hawaiian shirt. One of the guys that I knew was wearing it in a Facebook photo. I said, "Hey, where'd you get that shirt?" And and he told me. So I said, and I ordered one.
Beautiful.
So now I got one too. They're nice and comfortable.
Very nice. Yes. it's style, and at the same time, it speaks to, you know, your history, your experience, you know. Um, Sometimes, and this is not our topic for today, although it may turn into it. Sometimes and I've watched this movie probably 7 or 8 times. Apocalypse Now, not a cheerful movie, by the way. Okay, but I've got this connection. This, I don't want to say psychic connection. People may misinterpret that, but something about that whole Vietnam era, that whole experience, which I was born right, at least as John Lavenia, right? I was born right at the end of that experience. Kind of makes me wonder, what was I doing before I was doing the John Lavenia thing? But like something about that whole, just what was depicted in that really speaks to me, really resonates. So that being said, we're not talking about theories of reincarnation or anything like that today. But I will tell you that that as we wrap up this week, as we wrap up this amazing week here with the Mastermind Group, and we've had so many, I think, breakthroughs this week. I've had breakthroughs. I'm going to share one of them with you, and I'm going to see where you guys want to go with this, because I think it relates directly to making big advancements in your life and in your business, which is, of course, I think what we all intend to do, right? I don't think any of us are here showing up, most of us, daily, in some cases a few times a day. I don't think we're showing up here just for tiny little incremental increases, although that's also valid. We also celebrate that, right? Your stats went up 1%. That's increase, right? That's good. The idea that's coming up for me as I'm looking at, many of my favorite people on planet Earth here who are joining us on this broadcast. My idea is the idea of what we give our attention to. What we give our attention to. I was just having a conversation with my friend Linda and a couple other business colleagues. We do business online, and the idea that came up, because we were looking at some stats, some were better than others. Linda's stats are great, by the way. Linda, awesome work. But the idea that we could have a down stat condition, that we could have a decline and recover from that, I find that idea very pleasing, because who hasn't had down stat conditions? Who hasn't had dips in your production, right? Is every chart just a constant, direct vector, logarithmically, increasing with every notch? No, we've got the cyclical nature of business and of life. And so I was thinking, if we're in a slump, how do we get out of that slump? And can we get out of that slump? I think the worst position to be in is helplessness. I don't know what to do. Desperation sucks, right? Helplessness. I think it's good. I can tell you for myself, I feel good when I know what to do. I feel good when I'm decisive, when I know how to pick myself up by my bootstraps and do something to correct my statistics. And it's not always comfortable, which brings up another conversation, which we've also had, and that is practicing, work avoidance, right? Oh, I know what to do, but I'm not doing it. Therefore, to know and not to do is not to know. So, right? Ignorance is not bliss. Okay. What you don't know can hurt you. And so I got to know, and then I got to do to demonstrate that I know. But the idea of increasing our stats by taking a certain action and being certain, there's the word, certain, being certain about that action, knowing what to do, can instantly turn our trajectory around. I think this will be very pleasing, and I'm going to give you a couple different examples. Very pleasing for anyone who's looking at your past week, your past month, 2021 so far, 2 months down, just about 2 months down, right? You're looking at that and saying, how do I break this cycle, this down stat, this negative trend? How do I turn that into an uptrend? I still have 10 out of 12 months to go just in this year. Not that the calendar matters so much, like what the year says, but if we're going to have some targets, we might as well, quantify it with time. The first thing is something I was reminded of by reading Albert Gray's classic dissertation on what he called the common denominator of success. How many of you are familiar with this? I can just see a nod. I see a few of you on the camera. Albert E.N. Gray, the common denominator of success. I will put a link to this in the chat. sure I got it here somewhere. I could put it in our Facebook group as well, which is another reason why you want to be a member. If you're not already a member, jlsuccessmastermind.com, and you get access to all this good stuff. So the common denominator of success, here it comes. Bam. Whoops, not bam. It's not working. Sorry, guys. My, oh, wait, here it comes. Invalid file. All right, never mind. Oh, you know what I can do? I could put, sorry, this is not very entertaining. I could put the Dropbox link. Copy Dropbox link. Yeah, I downloaded this years ago. It's great. I'm not able to, oh, here it comes. Finally. All right, so there you go. There's the link. Download that. So the common denominator of success. If we take it from the top, this guy, Albert Gray, he was a big shot in the Prudential Corporation back in the 1950s, I believe. And he was talking to a group of sales managers, department managers, and what have you. And so these were higher level people in the organization. And he said, I want to talk with you today about the common denominator of success. And he went on with his lecture, and this is a transcript of his lecture. That's what I just gave you. And he said, you know, I was looking for, if there was one thing that was common for every person who had been successful, not just here, you know, doing insurance or whatever, but anything in life, any worthy endeavor, you're a success. What is the common thing? Is there one thing? Because a lot of people want to know, is there one thing, right? I want an easy button. Give me the one thing that I can focus on. And so he said, you know, because that's what I was looking for, that's what I found. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the common denominator of success for every person who's ever succeeded, ever at anything. The common denominator of success is that successful people have formed the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. Successful people have formed the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. And he went on. It's not that we like doing these things, we just do them anyway. We subordinate our preferences for whether or not this method is pleasing or not pleasing. We subordinate our preferences to our goals. We've got a reason to get uncomfortable, and we get uncomfortable so often that it becomes a habit, and we don't have to think about it anymore. I don't have to sit there and deliberate with myself about, should I make this decision? Should I, shouldn't I? Uncertainty, indecision, work avoidance, time, pissing away time, right? So no, we've formed the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. You don't like cold calling. He's talking to, you know, the people in that space at that time. I don't like cold calling. We do it anyway, right? And he went on to talk about slump, right? A sales slump. So if you have your team, right, your sales group, your salesmen, whatever, and they're in a slump, he said, don't get into like competitive and force and cracking the whip. No. He said, you want to increase your stats, get your people refocused on purpose. Like, why are we showing up here in the first place? What are we doing? Why are you even here? And then the stats take care of themselves. So purpose renders production. You don't force production. Production takes care of itself when you're on purpose. Now, isn't it true for each of us that when we feel like our work is important, in other words, on purpose for us, does it even feel like work anymore? Even with those unpleasing methods that you wind up doing habitually anyway, right? A lot of days I don't want to go work out, right? But I'm in a habit of doing it, and I show up before I could talk myself out of it, right? So does that bear fruit? Of course. Is that production? Yes, that's production. That's production, right? What's the alternative, right? Non-production and just live in the excuse of why we don't reach, why we don't act, why we don't do. So to refocus on purpose will bring this sales team out of the slump, says Albert Gray to his executives, his managers. What can we do right now to refocus on purpose? And assuming you know what your purpose is, the reason you're showing up in the first place with whatever the worthy endeavor that you've chosen for yourself, and you could have multiple, okay? Why do you show up in your marriage? Why do you show up in your business, at the gym, you know, whatever? Now, the question then becomes, and this is the second consideration I had just based on something that went down this week. What are you doing to get a bit unreasonable with that? George Bernard Shaw said that The reasonable man attempts to adapt himself to his environment. The unreasonable one persists in attempting to adapt the environment to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. Unreasonable. So reason, we've talked about this before. Reason is a mental faculty. It's good and useful. I can reason, and it helps me survive in life and not do stupid stuff that would destroy me, right? So I can reason that if I walked out in front of that speeding car, that my body would get broken, right? So let's not do that. That's reason. That's great. But that's all based on knowns. And where do our goals live? Where do our great successes and our increase and the fame and fortune and Lamborghinis and coconut drinks? Where is that? That lies in the realm of the unknown for us as individuals. If you haven't accomplished it yet, well, then you don't know it yet. Right? Okay. So we got to go beyond reason. Reason is limited based on what we know. There are other mental faculties like intuition, right? Like imagination, which is not limited. And we can, when we totally adopt the purpose as like our identity. So not attached so much to the drama around it, but to the holy grail of, here's my ultimate purpose, which I can never totally fulfill, right? I mean, it's bigger than just me, and that's another indicator, right? It's bigger than just me. Now we know we're on the right track. Okay, it's not just about you and your Lamborghini or something. Okay, so it's a grand purpose. It serves mankind. And it may bring you, fame and fortune and everything else as a byproduct of being on purpose and fulfilling it at a higher and higher level. Money is reward for service rendered, right? So if you're using money as a scorekeeping device, right? So you make more money when you provide more service. That's great. But how can we now get unreasonable? In other words, go beyond reason and be a more perfect example of our ideal self. And the thing that came up for me this week, and something that we're all participating in to some degree, is mentorship. Mentorship. I was thinking about when I first started to become successful as an entrepreneur, like really successful. I had done other things that have succeeded, but never to the degree that I was even remotely satisfied with, until I wound up, in this case, paying tens of thousands of dollars to someone who had walked that path before me and was willing to teach. And my life experience turned on a dime, like doubled my income in 90 days. Haven't worked a job since. Right. All the dreams, right? People talk about, following your dream or having a dream. It's reminding me right now of that movie Tangled. Probably the best Disney movie ever, by the way. Tangled with Rapunzel. And I don't know if any of you have seen that. I've seen every child's movie there is at this point. I've got a 10-year-old daughter, but Tangled, what a great movie. But they had a dream. And so in my case, I have exponential increase because I didn't attempt to go it alone. And I sought guidance, which wasn't free, from someone who had walked that path before me. And in fact, the unknown to me, where my goals live in the realm of the unknown, were, way in the past for this person who had accomplished that and much, much more. Now, what does that do for me? Not only does it give me instruction, right? So you could do this, check out that. Hey, I see you made an error there, right? Mentoring is good, right? I'm thinking right now about Nancy, who did our yoga lesson yesterday, right? Gentle yoga and relaxation. And Nancy, I think, is amazing because she can see out of the corner of her eye, while she's doing yoga herself, she could see my incorrect posture. I wasn't on live yesterday, but there have been times when I was on live with Nancy and she could see my incorrect posture without even trying. She's a master of that stuff, right? What's that? That's mentoring, right? That's not just somebody standing on the sideline saying, you should do this, you should do that. It's somebody saying, look, I've been doing this for decades. I could do this in my sleep. And I want to help you not suck so bad. Okay. So here's some instruction. Oh, well, thank you. Because I'm interested, right? I'm interested in not sucking. I'm interested in having exponentially better results. And so in this case, and we're talking about something objective and physical that we can look at, okay, with yoga or what have you. But in this case, with more subjective things like business and what decisions we make, what actions we take to communicate to our public, or attract our ideal audience, to attract customers, right? Make the sale, right? Many people here with e-commerce, right? Which products would fit into that, that category? What am I going to offer? I got to source this stuff. I got to resource it or research it, right? So there's mentoring that can accelerate your process with all that. It's really good. And look, a lot of us are not strangers to seeking mentoring. And there's an old saying, you get what you pay for. That's often true. It's not always true. It's often true. In fact, I've gotten an earful from a couple of people about why I undersell like what we're doing here. My goodness, $50 a month. I have one of our members say, John, I was paying $600 a month to some clown. I didn't get not even half of what I've gotten here. Not even half, not even close. She turned off that account, by the way. She's here with us. But the idea that we can make exponential increases by not trying to go it alone, that's valid. That shows up again and again in my life. So what did we do this week? Because we've got some gaps, right? There's a gap between where we are. I'm talking about myself and my wife, right? There's a gap between where we are and where we want to be. Oh, but John, you and Shannon are masters and you've made millions of dollars online and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Does that mean we've arrived or something? Does that mean we've accomplished every goal? No, look, we've had setbacks too. We've had times, my goodness, my wife in the last year and a half just had to recover from, chemotherapy and double mastectomy and like stage 3 breast cancer. It's not all a bowl of cherries, right? And we've got projects, we've got purposes, yes, purposes that are bigger than just, putting a roof over our head or something. So we sought mentoring this week and paid a lot of money for it. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited because we're going to the next level, because there's blind spots. You see, there's things that we can't see because it's not yet real for us. Right? Now, there are other people who are swimming in data because they've got so much experience. They are masters of that stuff. Fine. You know what? Save me some time. Because look, I'm not like walking around forever in this body and whatever. Right. So like time is money. And I think sometimes about my, what does it cost? I'm looking at myself now. What does it cost me to seek mentoring? Right. There's an old joke in the sales world. The prospective customer asks, well, what's this going to cost me? And the salesman says, well, what do you mean? If you buy it or if you don't? If you buy it, 10 grand. If you don't buy it, I don't know, millions. So looking at it like that, but we can only look at mentoring like that if we've got enough self-belief. And this is, I guess, the question for everyone. Am I, and is my purpose, because I've now identified with my purpose. It's not like I'm throwing on this purpose like a suit, and then when it's not convenient for me, I take it off again. That's not forming the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do, right? That's not raising our stats exponentially by reconnecting with purpose. Am I that connected with my purpose that it's a good investment? Am I a good investment? Would I bet on me? Great question. And often, even like with, my goodness, thousands of people that I've worked with here in the entrepreneurial space, often there's not an immediate answer to that. There's that self-doubt. Well, I've missed the mark before, right? I've blundered. I've been a loser. I've failed. I've had deficits, and you know what? I don't know if I'm a good bet. Now, they may not vocalize that. They may not come out and say, I'm kind of hesitant about investing in myself. I don't know if I'm a good investment. And I can tell you the best investment I've ever made is the investment in myself. I've invested over $300,000 into my own education after leaving government schools and whatever they teach or fail to teach there. So, and I've made a bit more than that, right? So good investment. but my investing in my own ability, there's the word, to earn, to produce, right? Best investment I've ever made. And when I hear people who are this close to success, but don't recognize it and don't see themselves as a good investment, I sometimes want to smack them and say, don't you see that the world believes in you, and I'm part of that world, by the way, more than you believe in yourself. That's one of the things that I got from mentoring, right? And from having a purpose that was so vital to me that, yeah, I'm a good bet. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and invest in myself, and I'm not gonna do it alone. And I'm going to this person obviously sees something that I don't yet see in myself. And isn't that something we've all experienced in our life from time to time, right? I remember, because I've shared this with the group before. I had a troubled youth, right? I was a wreck. I was almost dead at age 15. There were people who saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And through interventions and what have you, here I am today. But it was not something where I got on the path of personal development and right living and whatever you want to call this. It's not something I was able to do on my own. So then the question for I guess the group today is, and this is a fun Friday, so it seems like a bit of a heavy topic, is, I guess, multiple questions. Are you that connected with your purpose that it is you, right? So like every decision you make, not down to like, what did you eat for breakfast or whatever, although I guess it could include that, but every decision you make is an on-purpose decision, thereby demonstrating that, yes, you are a good investment. And are you going beyond reason now that you know you're a good investment? Are you going beyond just being reasonable into scary, uncharted waters? And if so, the third question is, are you trying to do that all by yourself? Now, I happen to know, for everyone who's here with us live in this broadcast, clearly you're not doing it by yourself. We're in a mastermind group, right? I mean, obviously, John. Okay, great. But look, there's a lot of other people who see this, who are voyeurs, right? They're on the outside looking in. And so when I think about people like Ivia, right, who has had tremendous advancements in her work and now in her living conditions as she moves into her castle tomorrow. Keep calling her the castle. Those of you who haven't seen Ivier's new digs, it's pretty spectacular. Right in London, by the way, too. That's I didn't know they had places like that in London. but that inspires me. That inspires me because I get to see people actually applying the teaching, the mentoring, the philosophy, right? The stuff is for use. We don't get on here and talk about, ideas for success and all this stuff because, it's the most entertaining thing we can find on YouTube or something. There's more entertaining stuff. We have an intent behind this. So the question is, are we reaching to fulfill that intent beyond what's comfortable and what we already know? And I would, excuse me, and I would say if we're not, maybe we need to refocus on our purpose, because I can tell you, when you turn up the volume with your purpose, you turn up your stats. When you feel good, you do good. When you're in production mode because you've got a reason to be productive, because if not, what's the cost of not doing it, right? So we've weighed that balance, and now we know we're gonna hit this. We're gonna press the trigger. We're gonna do this, right? Guess what? Our stats have to go up. We only have so much attention that we can put on anything in life, right? Here's 24 hours. You're gonna spend it. You can't save it. Start spending or investing, right? Start. What are we investing that in? And when we're on point, and I'm thinking of Evelyn Smith right now, right? We've had some nice one-on-one conversations recently. She's getting really focused on something. Fantastic. So decide what that is. Decide who you are, and then be that. Be it. Don't just think it. Be it. Which, by the way, is really friggin' hard a lot of times. I was just on a thing yesterday on this new Clubhouse app that I'm learning, and which we're going to have some trainings on here in the group, by the way, for those of you who are interested in that. Oh, and a few of you asked to be included in that because you need an invitation to get into the app and whatever. I can only invite so many people, and I ran out of invitations. They gave me like 4 or something like that. So anyway, Still learning the app myself. You can just go download it if you want. But the people, I showed up in some group conversation that was going on. One of the other people in the conversation knew who I was. They were like, you know who just joined this room? John Lavenia. He's the author of the book, Integrity is Everything, blah, blah, blah. And immediately they opened my microphone. I didn't ask to speak or whatever. And they were like, you know, here's our topic. I know you're just getting here. Would you share with us, you know, what your thoughts are on this? And in a moment's notice, if they're looking for something profound, I said, well, I've been asked that question before, like in interviews with magazines or whatever. And here's, I guess, the most profound thing I could say: decide who you are and then be that. Hence the title of my first book, Integrity is Everything, as within, so without. Be it. Not easy, but my goodness, if you can do that, and I'm still working on it, but if you could do that, everything else is secondary, right? Logistics, little problems that you solve, right? Stuff, drama, right? Decide who you are and be that. If you've been playing small, consider the ideal you that doesn't play small. Consider what that looks like. And it may not be real for you yet. The Lamborghini isn't in the driveway. And I use that just as a, silly example, but imagine the experience that you'll have when that is real, whatever that thing is, that experience, that beingness, that accomplishment. I feel so happy, grateful, accomplished, confident now that I have accomplished, and then fill in the blank with whatever that is. This is what you could have on your goal card right now, assuming you use a goal card, right? Or you do your meditation such to the degree where you can recite what would be on your physical goal card right out of your brain, just like that. I feel so emotionally, right? Happy, grateful, excited, enthusiastic, liberated, confident, accomplished, right? Now that I have accomplished such and such. This is right out of Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, right? You go on. I have accomplished this by providing the best possible service, the best possible quality and quantity of service to my clients in such and such business or whatever you do. I'm grateful knowing it is so. This is just the beginning. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. I'm healthy, rich, and grateful. We speak these things into existence, and we start to attract circumstances and situations and mentoring and resources that will prove to us that the universe is conspiring in our favor. Again, I don't always believe that. I haven't arrived, right? Sometimes I got problems right here in my face, and that's all I see. Problems. Okay, so which John is showing up on that deal, right? I think for each of us, we could take inventory, and this is something that I would suggest we do daily. Journaling is a great way to do this, by the way. And I'll leave you with this. And then I know I'm kind of all over the place today, but I'm hoping you're getting something out of this. When I first learned about journaling, it was suggested to me that I write about 3 things each day. It doesn't have to be long, John. You don't have to write another book. It doesn't have to be perfect. Oh my goodness, just get it done. Just get it done. Right? This is how my mind works. Oh, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. There's an affirmation. You want to try that? Not a good affirmation. So your challenges for the day, your wins for the day, and what you learned that day. Your challenges, your wins, and what you learn by studying whatever book you're reading or researching some aspect of your business, something. So what challenges did I have? What wins, what accomplishments, and what did I learn? Great place to start journaling. Could be 5 minutes. But it starts to give you an introspection and an inventory of how you're thinking about these things. I mean, the challenges themselves aren't the vital datum, right? My thoughts about it. That's the datum we're looking for, right? What do I think about this? Why was that a challenge? It's like the depth of the questions, right? Anyway, I love you guys. I hope you got something out of where my brain was going today. I'm getting unreasonable. And you deserve to be too. And with that, I'm going to stop talking. Let's get Ego out here and whoever else has their hands up. Ego, then Julia. Hey, Ego.
Hi everyone. Happy Friday.
You know something about getting unreasonable, don't you?
Yes, I do indeed. So you asked, yeah, I mean, this topic actually really resonates with me because I believe in the power of mentoring, right? So in terms of connecting with, you asked 3 questions, right? In terms of connecting with my purpose, I would say definitely yes. I'm very much connected with my purpose, and I'm actually in many ways and currently going beyond reason into the unknown, taking that risk, knowing that it's a heavy price to pay, but then what's the cost of not doing it? It could cost me, tons and tons more, right? And then I'm not trying to do it myself because, I'm surrounded by amazing people, experienced people, by mentors, by sponsors, by coaches. And there's no way I could actually get to the point I am now or even aspire to be. And it's big. My dream is so big. It's scary to me even, but I know that I'll crush it. And, there's something you said about be a perfect example of your ideal self, right? And with intention, I tend to do that. And I have a glimpse of that on Fridays for very many reasons. And I'll read out a message I sent to my husband today, a text. I said, I truly relish my Fridays. It's a great glimpse and reminder of how I love to live my life. So I can, that's the purpose, right? That's being able to connect with my purpose. My Fridays are exactly how I want to live my life in very many ways. And with intention, I go and recreate it such that my Thursdays look like my Fridays, Wednesdays do, Tuesdays do, Mondays do. And every day is a day where I'm living my best life and being an example of my ideal self. So thanks for that.
Oh, well, thank you, Ego. And for those who don't know, Ego certainly is, I will vouch for that, fulfilling this intention. And I will share with you real quick a book that I'm in the process of reading right now called More Than Just My Hair. Ego, well done. Well done. So you can get that on Amazon. In fact, we got to make sure we get a link in our Facebook group so people can go ahead and grab that. And I think Julia's next. Hey, Julia, how you doing?
Hi, John and all. Yeah, I'm reading Ego's book too, and it's really awesome. So way to go, Ego. I want to share my success today. I have my first product up on Amazon. Link
the puzzle? The puzzle?
The first puzzle.
Yeah.
And I've talked in this group freely about some challenges that we've had, and we may have like a brand new manufacturer. Hopefully by Monday, I'm waiting for this to happen, a US manufacturer, which would be ideal. And as I was sitting here listening to Ego, I thought about that and I realized that is the universe coming through for me, because try as I might, I could not find any US manufacturer willing to do some little person's puzzle like mine currently is. I mean, I have big dreams too, big plans, but right now we're just tiny. And we had a worker come to our house for something, and he was chatting with us and saw all the puzzles out and was talking about how his friend at this particular company has a puzzle. He's a printer 20 miles from my house. And one of this guy's best friends has a puzzle press, but was trying to decide whether or not to do it, to, like make that part of what they offer. And so Joe and I went yesterday to meet with him, and he said, well, I'm still not sure if I'm going to do it, but I have a friend in Colorado I'm going to talk to him today. I will let you know by Monday if he's willing to do your puzzles. And here's an improvement we can do, and here's an improvement we can do. So I'm just like blown away at how this is actually, I mean, I'm afraid to jinx it, right? But how it seems to really be happening, that we might get our dream of being able to manufacture in the US and not have the issues that we've had before. And I will say, the puzzle that's up is a good puzzle. Posters, but don't let that stop you. You can still work it even without the poster if you want to. So I'm just hoping that we can sell 500, and then the next ones will be with a better, a local manufacturer would be nice. So
Fantastic.
3 cheers for the universe.
Well done, Julia. And by the way, we are a puzzle doing family. So I don't know anybody else who likes to have a puzzle laid out on the coffee table, and then you put a couple of pieces in every time you walk past, right? It's a nice thing to do. We've probably done 10 of them in the last year. And so because it's also good, gets the brain working a bit, right? Objective, right? Look at the shapes, right? Look at the colors. And so I'm really excited about that. And I'll tell you what, made in USA, that's a sales pitch right there, right? We got people who are looking for US sourced products. A lot of patriotic people here in our country. I know we got people in other countries here on this broadcast as well, but I can tell you, as a fellow American, I want made in USA whenever possible. Yeah.
So do I, whenever possible. Yeah. And I'm sure hoping this is possible. So everybody, I could use your good intentions too.
Good. Well, let's go buy some puzzles, everyone. Look, anyone who's watching this right now, if you haven't done a jigsaw puzzle in a while, check out Julia's link.
Oh, can I say one more thing?
You sure can.
The price is low through Sunday night. On Sunday night at 6 Central Time, I'm going to put it up. So if you do want to buy a puzzle, I encourage you to start now.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, please wait till after Sunday night. So this way I can fetch a proper profit.
No.
Okay.
I want you to do it now. So
are we talking about $5 a difference or something?
Yeah, like $5 or $6. Yeah, still.
Okay, very good.
All right.
Thank you. Very good. All right. Who else? Who else has commentary for us today? Nobody.
John,
hey, Evelyn.
Hey. I loved your chat today. Your talk is hitting me right where it needs to. It speaks to me. I am ready to take my business to the next level. And I think, like Ego was saying, it scares me. I feel it in, the pit of my stomach. I'm like, oh my gosh, this means stepping it up, leveling up. And I know it's the right thing, because this one is going to take us to the next level really, really higher than what I ever even thought we could. Because we all started this journey similarly, right? And right now my sales are about 5K, 6, goes down a little bit with the bad weather this last week. So I'm trying to make it to at least do the same thing I did in January. So you can feel probably the anxiety, the nerves, but I've been speaking out loud what I want, what I know is the right thing for us to do. And me, I'm the chop, let's get it done. Come on, let's move. What's the next level? How can I reach higher sales? How can I learn more so I can share more, so I can teach more, so I have more to give? And I'm telling you, is everything you were saying today is like you were talking to me directly. I'm sure that Ego got the same message, and this is, I think, what is important to all of us. Doesn't matter how small or big your decision is. If you feel that nervousness, that a little bit of anxiety, it's a good kind of anxiety. It's like, are we ready really for this? And you just hire someone to help you take it to the next level. I mean, none of us here are perfect. We're always improving. We're always growing. And I think that's what we all need to do. And all of us need to have that, And if you're questioning, should I do this? But you have a good feeling, a little bit of nerves with that, that's the right thing to do. So thank you.
Thank you. You know what? And that is a statement of self-belief, Evelyn. and so many, obviously, so many people here believe in you, and hopefully you're one of them, right? So, that's good. But this whole playing small thing, I'm sick of it, right? Like, we got to do something here, and that's coming from me. And again, people may perceive, well, John, you've played a lot bigger than most people in life. Well, I'm not comparing myself to most people. I'm what's my best so far versus what's my vision and my purpose, right? And yeah, I've been playing small. So, and I think you could probably find a couple of, multi-millionaires or billionaires who would maybe even say the same thing. You know what? I kind of missed it, So it's not just about the money; it's about the purpose. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Thank
All
you.
right. We got Ingrid up here. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. It's our favorite violinist, Ingrid. Hi, Ingrid. Let's see if she can get that mute button working. The unmute button. Here she is.
Hey there.
Hey.
Hey there. I'm off camera because the sun is shining really hard in the car. So
I was hoping to see your steering wheel cam with your
Oh,
dog
right,
in your
hang
lap while you're driving. Right. Oh,
here
something.
you go.
Okay. There
see
he
her?
is.
There she
Hey.
is. She's resting. And it's just so sunny here. I'm gonna just go off. I can barely see. Sorry.
Okay.
So I just I tuned in late because I was off taking care of horses. But yeah, it feels to me like we're all rising up, and that feels really good. Things are going super well for me. I'm gonna get this friggin' violin soon. I've been waiting. This is paperwork. That's good. Checks are coming in that I didn't necessarily expect from like even people that owed me money 4 or 5 years ago. Apologies. It's very nice. My Beamer stuff's going great. I feel like we're all just rising up, and I really feel that this group is the reason for it. I keep saying that, but it's really true. So thank you. I don't come in so much right now because I've got orchestra and all that stuff, but I listen quietly, or I get a recorded call, and just really happy to be part of the group. It's really the reason things are going well. I know it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ingrid. And we're so also glad you're a part of this group. And I just sometimes I wonder, where many of us would be without, this sort of obviously mastermind, the camaraderie, the consistency, right? Like Albert Gray was talking about, forming the habit. If I'm not in this conversation, what conversation am I in? Great question. Most people never think about that. So the fact that you're here speaks volumes. Thank you, Ingrid. And always good to see your dog as well. And yeah. Hey, we got Nicola Black here. Nicola. How are
Hello.
you?
Yeah, it just got me thinking there. It's a really good subject because I just thought I'd kind of share what's going through my head. So my background is obviously in the corporate world, as you know, for almost 20 years. So it just got me thinking. I probably went through 4 or 5 quite major promotions in that time. So I started out kind of early 20s as an analyst, and over the course of 17 years with one company, progressed through to director. So it just got me thinking, each time I never felt ready to make that next move. I was always maybe 80% of the way there, but it was always one big scary leap into the unknown. But then I thought, but it should be, otherwise I would be doing that job already. Do you know what I mean? Because it's meant to be new. It's a big change. It's meant to be scary. It's meant to feel uncomfortable because you're operating in your stretch zone. And it felt like that every single time, and probably the further I progressed, the harder the leap it was, because it was a big leap of faith. But just got me thinking, I never had an official mentor, but it was either my manager or somebody who was kind of acting as a mentor that saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And I think that's the power of a mentor, isn't it? And when you work in the corporate industry, you take it for granted because you've always got a manager. But when you don't, I think as an entrepreneur, you've got to look at it a bit differently. And you've either got to become that person for yourself, Or if not, you have to find a mentor who can help encourage that next move, because otherwise we're all programmed to stay in our comfortable safe zone. That's just how we are as human beings. So it takes something to leap into that unknown. And I think that's the trick that you've kind of touched on there, is you've got to surround yourself with either a mentor or with people that really believe in you to help probably just push you that 20% of the way that you wouldn't push yourself. So that it's just got me thinking. I had briefly had a mentor last year, but only for 6 weeks. And I think that's maybe something I'm missing. So I need to find a way to kind of plug the gap that I had in the corporate world, or you become your own kind of your own biggest fan, and you push yourself to make those jumps every time. But so I guess it's just to encourage everyone that that's normal to feel that way before you make that next big move. You don't have all the answers, otherwise it's not a big enough move. It's not scary enough. So yeah, good subject for a Friday. Quite heavy one for 6 o'clock at night here in the UK on a Friday night.
You know what, Nicola, I've seen where myself, where without any mentor or guidance, if in a state of emergency, yes, I've taken unreasonable action. Yes, I've leapt into the unknown, and I've done it. But now we're talking about crisis management, emergency, right? Yeah, that's something where I can't see, like the trapeze artist, right? So let's say you were a trapeze artist, or you wanted to be one, and I'm like an expert at that, and you can't see what I see. You don't have the distinctions of the timing and the when do you let go? When do you let go? When do you fly through the air? Right? That's pretty friggin' scary. In fact, as a guy who doesn't know anything about acrobatics and trapeze, but someone who has seen this kind of a performance, I'm like, oh my goodness, look at that. Never, not me. But that's their purpose, not mine, right? It's my purpose to pay for the ticket and go watch them do it. But that is, I think, a great example of, scary, but you're gonna make a spectacle of yourself, or just kind of sit there on the sidelines. I mean, we got lots of people paying for tickets, but these people over here are getting paid, right? So, and whatever that purpose is, and you're brilliant, Nicola. And plus I know you're hanging around with Shannon. So you definitely have some good connections in your life. Yeah. And I'm a little bit biased because she's my wife, but yeah, she's great. Thank you. Who else before we wrap up? Nancy, I was just bragging about you. Did you hear me bragging?
I heard it. I was in the kitchen and I wrote in the chat, I said, yes, I got an eagle eye, John. So thank you for that.
Well, you have competence, right? Like we were just talking about with Nicola, right? You have distinctions. You can see, I couldn't see that posture, that incorrect, right? You could see that easily, just like that. So
yeah, thank you. A great topic today, John. It's we hear this all the time when everybody says this is just right on point. So you're talking a lot about mentorship, and I have a meeting I've got to get off in like 2 minutes because I have a meeting with someone that I did a training with in LA like about 8-9 years ago. And this is a person who has really made it in the yoga industry in the sea of a gazillion yoga teachers. And anyways, he's created this kind of systematic approach that has also some, I don't quite know all the details, but he's got some brain-based things, some neuroplasticity things that are really unique in his work. And so I'm excited to meet him. And I'm also a little bit like, oh my God, at this point in the game, I really feel like I should be a mentor rather than paying somebody else. But that's just a thought I'm having right now. And then also I do know that it doesn't matter where you are along, that your progress in your career, having a mentor is always really important. So I'll see what he has to say, but I have a feeling that from his discovery session, what he charges for his mentorship is a lot of money, like $50,000 for mentorship, which is not going to be in my game on that one. But I just want to say, I'm going to go in with open ears and just see what he has to say. But it does make me feel like, okay, so he's doing that. Why can't I do that? Like, why am I not doing that? So yeah.
Well, maybe that's part of the mentoring is just you get to meet with the guy who charges 50 grand and suddenly your prices go up just because, right? I mean, you're let's say you're 80% of where he is, but your prices are only 20% of where he is, right? And I don't know if you do private mentoring for yoga instructors or whatever. I know you as someone who is a practitioner and you teach classes, right? But it sounds like this guy is now teaching the teachers, is what it
Correct.
sounds like. Right. So is that where you're at or where you should be? Are you like ready for that? And if so, then if nothing else, you're going to get some guidance about, what your pricing should be today.
Yeah.
And I will say one other thing, Nancy. So even if it was out of reach financially at the moment, that's at the moment, at this
Right.
moment, which isn't the next moment, right? So you start putting ideas in place because you decide, assuming you decide, I want that level of mentoring and expertise. Okay, how do I get it now? How do I get it? Well, I got to charge this many people this much money to do the yoga thing, or maybe to do something else. The Amazon thing, there's lots of ways to make money, right? So, but you don't need the money until you make the decision. So today you're at least going to know, here's a decision that I could make. And now I can go figure out the resources, but the decision always precedes the means. Always, always, always. Decision first, means second.
So yeah, that's just such a different way for me to look at it, because you can step yourself out of something so easily, say, no, I don't have those funds available. But what I'm hearing you say is, no, go explore, see what you can find out. And then if it's something that really resonates, you're going to figure out how to get that money. It'll happen. Like, am I getting that right? So it's really opposite of how one would normally think about it.
Right. All right. So, and we got to end up here. You got to go. But I was on the internet and I heard the CEO head guy from Maserati in Italy, and they were introducing this car, and it was called the Quattroporte. And he came out and they unveiled the car, Pininfarina design, long saloon, right? Most beautiful. He said, we designed this car to be like a beautiful woman. You see her once, you fall in love. And I'm like, sign me up, damn it, sign me up. And they got $130,000 friggin' dollars of my money for a product that didn't exist 5 minutes ago. Right?
Got it.
Okay. Thank you, Nancy. Go have a great meeting.
All right. I got to run. I'll let you know.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Have
All
a
right,
great
see you
weekend.
later. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're done. We're at the top of the hour. We're going to get together for integrative health with Therese today at 1. Oh, crap. I know we just had a schedule change. Let me look. What time is that? There we go. So we'll see everybody there who can make it live. Please make it live. And then we'll be back here. I'll be back here with you at 6 p.m. Eastern for our final session for the week. You guys have an awesome rest of your day. You so deserve it.